Headlines. 43 kidnapped Zamfara worshippers regained freedom as DSS arrests self-appointed negotiator. 10 killed as flood destroys houses, farmlands in Bauchi. Federal government orders sanction of foreign airlines selling tickets in dollars. And on the foreign scene, Canada stabbing suspect Miles Sanderson dies after arrest. Hello and welcome. The abducted Muslim worshippers at Zugu community in Bukuim local government area of Zamfara state have been released after payment of 5 million ransom and several jerry cans of petrol to the abductors. Sources from the troubled Zugu community in Bukuim local government area, where the incident occurred last Friday, said the victims were freed Tuesday night at about 10:30 p.m. by the abductors. They said 44 persons were abducted, but one person died in the terrorist enclave as a result of the aftershock. Meanwhile, the Zamfara State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has arrested a suspected terrorist who is said to have been involved in banditry and kidnapping of 7 persons at Jaja village in Tambor local government area of Sokoto State. Public Relations Officer of the NSCDC in the state, Iko Oche, who paraded the suspects on behalf of the State Commandant Akushe Sparks, said the suspected terrorist was earlier arrested by troops of the Nigerian Army during an operation in Tambor local government area of Sokoto State. The suspect, Umar Malami, who denied involvement in any bandit activities in Sokoto and Zamfara states, said he went to the hospital to receive medical care when people thought he was a terrorist and informed security operatives to arrest him.
Here we are today, we are parading the suspects who participated in different banditry activities and kidnapping activities across Sokoto and Zamfara states. The suspect today before you, as you can see, his name is Umar Malami, popularly known as Babuga. He is 30 years old. He hails from Yatsakwa, Geiri District, Gumi local government of Zamfara State. His occupation, he's a header by occupation, at the same time a Fulani man by tribe. His religion is Islam. He was arrested on the 3rd of September 2022 at Gumi General Hospital after an intelligence report. He is said to have participated in banditry activities and kidnapping of about 7 persons in a village called Jaja under Ganuwa district in Tambua local government of Sokoto State, bordering Gumi of Zamfara State. He was arrested at the cost of trying to receive ransom together with 2 others by the Nigerian Army and the vigilante that are operating within this area of Tambawa local government. And at the cost of the arrest, he evaded the arrest by running. So he sustained a cutlass injury, which was inflicted on him by the Nigerian Army at the cost of trying to apprehend him.
In other news, publisher of Desert Herald and negotiator with terrorists holding Abuja-Kaduna train passengers captive, Tukur Mamu, has been arrested after he was flown back to Nigeria from Egypt, Department of State Services confirms. Mamu was arrested and detained by Interpol at the Cairo International Airport while awaiting a connecting flight to Saudi Arabia. A statement signed by DSS spokesman Peter Afunaya said the arrest followed a request by the Nigerian military, law enforcement and intelligence community to their foreign partners to bring back Mamu home to answer questions on ongoing investigation and security matters. He has been flown back to Nigeria by Interpol and on arrival at Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano on Wednesday, he was taken into DSS custody. Meanwhile, reports say DSS operatives were deployed to the publisher's Desert Herald office at Unguwar Sarki in Kaduna. The operatives who had besieged Tukur Mamu's office in the morning were said to have kept their vehicles at a distance and did not attempt to force their way into the office. Now, following the abduction of the train passengers on March 28, the Kaduna publisher announced on May 23rd that the abductors have contacted him for negotiations. Here is a timeline of his involvement in these negotiations.
Saturday, 11th June. Captors released 11. Amount reportedly paid 300 million naira. Saturday, 9th July. Captors released 7. Amount paid 800 million naira. Monday, 25th July. Captors released 3. Tuesday, 2nd August. Captors released 5. Friday, 19th August. Captors released 4.
Well, there you go. Now, at least one person has been killed and 3 others abducted when terrorists attacked Batsari town, headquarters of Batsari local government area of Katsina State. Eyewitness account told Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi that the terrorists who arrived at the town on 10 motorcycles began shooting in the air and headed straight to their victim's residence. His report.
The victim was instantly shot and killed when he resisted the attempt by bandits to kidnap him. The terrorists are frequenting Batsari. They have been killing, abducting, raping. Thousands of people have been displaced. Many of us are without food, shelter, and our children out of school. What do you think will be the future of this generation? His is not the only sad story. In Batsari local government, the terrorists shot 3 women who are currently receiving medical attention at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina and rustled over 300 domestic animals. Our relatives have been shot in a raid by terrorists at Batsari. Things are tough and worse by the day. If this situation continues, I can't predict what will happen. In a related development, 3 people were recently abducted at Yankatako quarters in Katsina Metropolis. The terrorists separately abducted 2 children of the registrar Isa Keita College of Education, Duzima, and the housewife. In what looks like deliberate attempts to frustrate and disrupt educational activities, the terrorists attacked the college again on Monday night. The terrorists abducted 3 persons after forcing residents of the college indoors with sounds of heavy gunshots.
The thing is happening, we are not happy. Because of the thing is happening for Duzama local government and Katsina State is disturb us. Because of even yesterday in the night, bandit their attacks, we suspect 3 female in Isa Keita College of Education. So the thing is happening, we are not happy.
It has been a recurring trend and citizens of Katsina are tired. It seems the security situation has fast deteriorated in recent days in spite of frustrated efforts to secure the state. Residents are demanding nothing short of security of lives and property from the state actors as enshrined in the Nigeria's constitution. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Elsewhere, the Bauchi State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has confirmed the death of 10 people as a result of flood which destroyed several houses and farmlands across the state. Adams Nayola, Director of Planning Research and Statistics in the agency, confirmed the figure in an interview on Wednesday in Bauchi. He said that the situation had forced many residents to take refuge in other places. The director, however, said that the agency was still gathering data on farmlands and houses destroyed across the state. He said that the flood cut off some communities in Jama'ari and Misau local government areas, adding that the latest incident was recorded in Zaki local government area. He said that the agency was doing everything possible to provide relief materials to affected people, even as the assessment of the situation continues. And in politics, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Bola Tinubu, Wednesday met with the members of the National Working Committee of the party at its national headquarters in Abuja. Among those who accompanied Tinubu to the meeting were his running mate Kashim Shettima, the Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, among others. This is the first visit by Tinubu to the party's headquarters since his emergence as the presidential candidate of the party in June. Speaking to journalists after the meeting, Tinubu said his campaign team will release the manifesto of the campaign, stressing on the need for Nigerians to be committed to democracy despite the challenges with the system. According to the INEC timetable and activities, all political parties will commence campaigns on 28 September. Presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, on Wednesday urged stakeholders and party members to shun any act capable of tarnishing their reputation ahead of the 2023 general election. At an event to further his candidacy in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, the presidential hopeful said the advice was necessary as the country prepares for the commencement of political campaigns. Silas Lowell has more.
Kwankwaso was joined by the gubernatorial candidate of the party in the state, Saad Tahir, among other party stalwarts. He was excited with the large crowd that received him in Adamawa, insisting that it reinforces the hope of his party in 2023. While commending the people of Adamawa State for coming out in their number to welcome him, especially women and youths, he believed that this is a moment of change for youth and women. The presidential candidate said that people across Nigeria were buying into NNPP, which he adopted a few months ago, adding that before the elections, many more will join them. Silas Lowell, Trust TV News, Yola.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up. Story of Nasara automobile inventor. This and more after the break. Do stay.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update, our top stories. 43 kidnapped Zamfara worshippers regained freedom as DSS arrests self-appointed negotiator. And tank killed as flood destroys houses, farmlands in Bauchi. Moving on, Osun State Police Command has arrested 2 internet fraudsters popularly known as Yahoo Boys, Hamid Wahab and Ayobami Adigoke, for allegedly killing their colleague Wasu Oguntade over money. The police public relations officer for Osun State Police Command, Yemisi Okpalola, told Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade that the suspects confessed that they lured their Wasiu to the bush and cut off his head with cutlass. The suspect said their late colleague told them about huge money he made from internet scam recently and that they killed him to take possession of his money.
So we not direct Wasiu to the place, to a land and a bush like that. So AY explained to Yahoo and to Wasiu that this is a land. If you do not like this land, we can take you to another land. So Wasiu now said, okay, let me check, let me pick the sand and go and pray. Maybe I can buy it or not. So later, I just strang Wasiu at the neck. So after trying to hold him on his neck, they now use the cutlass to cut his head. So,
and the police team that were assigned for the assignment swiftly went into action, and they were able to to arrest these two boys that were known to be internet fraudsters, popularly called Yahoo boys. And they told us how they killed their friends, how they lured him into the bush, and he was killed. The fact of the case is
A very sad story there. Now, moving on, automobile engineering and industry are jam-packed with highly talented and dedicated individuals. They are literally changing the world before our eyes. A talented Nasarawa State Secondary School leaver is joining the league of these inventors as he designed and constructed an automobile despite financial constraints. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report, and here it's presented.
People are ambitious of achieving one endeavor or the other, especially the young ones. This young inventor, Abdulrahman Usman, was discovered in Kefi town of Nasarawa State constructing automobile, making Nigeria proud in the automobile and technical space. The inventor, who left school due to insufficient funds, said he ventured into designing and manufacturing automobiles because he feels he has the talent and passion for technical work. He said although he did not have sufficient financial backing to support him go through schools to acquire more education, he is ready to make the country proud with support from government and organizations.
I need support to further my education and to make Nigeria proud.
However, this young lad's talent attracted the attention of many as he became the talking point where an indigenous organization took interest in him.
On this young prodigy, I decided to take it up with the executive vice chairman of the NASENI to come and see this talent and see the means through which this great innovative talent can be enhanced and harnessed for the progress and development of Nigeria.
The dream of Abdulrahman Usman of becoming an automobile designer of international repute is not far-fetched, as the Executive Vice Chairman, National Agency of Science and Engineering Infrastructures, Professor Muhammad Sani Haruna, was in Kefi to meet this young inventor.
He has shown passion and interest. A lot needs to be done. What we need to do is to give him exposure, this orientation, so that he will fall into the right place that can expose him into the real world. To us, this is virtual design. And I assure you, it's within our mandate to support talent like this. We will support him, expose him to practical equipment, and give him appropriate scholarship to what he can read to become someone that can be a true inventor of real devices.
Nigeria is blessed with a number of talented individuals whose talent, if properly harnessed, will go a long way in projecting the image of the country positively in the international communities. However, there is the need for available platform for these inventors to showcase their talents as Nigeria struggles to take its rightful space in the world of science.
The federal government has warned international carriers against dollarization of flight tickets, describing it as a violation of the country's laws and international agreements. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sadiqa sounded the warning on Wednesday while briefing newsmen at State House Abuja after the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council. He spoke on a day the Cabinet approved the National Flood Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan. Kainde Omodu reports.
$484 million had been trapped in Nigeria due to the economic situation, making it difficult for foreign airlines to repatriate their funds. Accusing Nigeria of being the biggest blocker of funds in the world, some of the airlines are now refusing to do business in Naira, among other measures.
Also, they blocked the travel agents from access. They also made only available the expensive tickets and so on and so forth. Our regulators are not sleeping. We have a very vibrant Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Once they found any airline guilty, that airline will be dealt with because we need to protect our people. It is according to our agreements, to what we have signed, and this is according to international convention.
The minister, however, says efforts are being made to mitigate the situation and prevent further occurrence.
In 2016, Nigeria was under recession, and the income per barrel fell from 140 to 30. And lots of challenges. But yet, Mr. President directed, and the funds were all repatriated, $600 million. And it began to pile up again. It got to $484 now, million. So far, 260 has been released. But I think 265. So strategy now is being put in place by Central Bank, and those are economic managers, to ensure that the money does not pile up again. We're doing everything to make these airlines happy in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the National Flood Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan, approved on Wednesday, is expected to be a multi-sectoral and multi-stakeholder scheme. The strategy document clearly sets out the responsibility of each stakeholder involved in flood management. However, ahead of its implementation, the federal government says it has activated an adequate response to the various incidents of flooding that occurred recently in different parts of the country.
We have activated the response in the way that once these things happen, we move to the field and we respond. If there are issues of evacuation, we evacuate. We give humanitarian interventions to the victims, first as first responders, and then later we can come back to do a thorough assessment of how we are going to support the state governments in rehabilitating the victims.
It is worthy of note that the minister is subtly accusing state governments of not doing enough to prevent floods in their domains. This, she says, is despite the advance warning given by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. From State House, Abuja, Kainde Omodu, Trust TV News.
And on the foreign scene, the suspect sought by Canadian authorities in a weekend stabbing spree that killed 10 people in and around an indigenous reserve was arrested on Wednesday. They lapsed into unexplained medical distress and died soon after at a hospital, according to reports by the police. The suspect's demise clouded prospects of investigators to clearly determine the motive for Sunday's deadly attacks, one of the bloodiest acts of mass violence in the country's history. The suspect's older brother and accused accomplice was found slain on Monday in a grassy area of the James Smith Cree Nation Reserve in central Saskatchewan. Police said they were still investigating whether the younger sibling might have killed his brother in the aftermath of the stabbing rampage. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.